2 million SU in this tiny little 5x7 multi-block structure. That can't be possible, right? It has to take in so much materials that are incredibly expensive, and I will get into all of that in a little bit. But before we do all that, I just wanted to say welcome to a little mod review video. I know it's been a while. I know it has. This is my first video of 2025 and it's already February. I've been taking a little break, playing a few other games, but I'm ready to get back into this now, and I will have some other things to say about the server and the way videos are changing this year at the very end. But for those of you who just want to look at the mods and stuff, here we go. Let's get into this real fast because I know you don't have a lot of patience. We'll be taking a look at 3 separate mod things here. The first one is going to be this create nuclear mod right here. I'll go through all this, and then we're going to be taking a look at create deep fried, and then I'm going to look at some of these other recipes back here and how they can change the way you play the create mod. It is a mod. It's just a bunch of add-on, or not add-ons, it's a bunch of recipe changes, and I know you could just put that in a data pack, but I think that giving a shout out to somebody who made a mod for it is pretty cool. As always, all of these mods will be able to be found in the description if you're looking for them. And yeah, I think that's it. We'll go ahead and start with the create nuclear here. So for those of you who know, and those of you who don't know, create nuclear revolves around uranium because, you know, you need nuclear fuel to power your nuclear reactor. And if we go ahead and search reactor, we can go ahead and start looking at some of the recipes. Steel will be your #1 ingot for this mod, and as you can see, it's pretty expensive. That's a lot of brass casings, and you need quite a few of these steel casings or reactor casings because these are the basic building blocks of the reactor. And I'm also going to build this over here a second time just to show you how it works, because when I was trying to figure this out, it was kind of confusing to me. So for the first layer, it's just all going to be these steel casings except for one block, and that one block is the output right here. This is the reactor output. This one isn't too expensive either. It's just a block with a shaft on it. All right. And so that's where all of your power is going to be coming out of, all 2 million or however many million you set up for it. The next block that we can see is this reactor mainframe, and you need uranium for this. Now, the way you get uranium is you got to find it in the world, or let's see, uranium. Oh, I can't type. Here we go. Uranium. You mine this up, right? And it turns into powder. And the way you get the liquid is you mix the powder and it turns into liquid, or you could pick it up with a bucket. But I think for the majority of you, you're going to be automating this because I think you can automate this. Let's see. We go, yeah, granite. You can get it from granite, 5% chance. You can automate granite with diorite and nether quartz. You can automate all of that stuff going all the way back to cobblestone. It's not that important, but here we go. We place these things in, and we're going to continue to build up our walls like this, building up the walls. Now, what you can't see are 2 things. You can't see the reactor cooling frames that are going here and the reactor core, which goes here, and the casing fills it in. So the cooling is blue ice and a bunch of glass, which is used in lead or used with lead, and you have to go mine the lead. So lead and uranium are the 2 ores you'll have to go mine. Steel is made using coal dust and iron, and you have to grind up coal, and you can get coal through charcoal, but that is part of that mod, which changes some of the recipes. And now we were missing a reactor mainframe right there. We're going to build this up 1 more layer, the exact same pattern. I find it easiest to place the blocks that have names and then place the mainframes afterwards like this. Okay, now on this is the last unique layer, and we have 2 blocks that we have to talk about. We have the controller, and I can't get to it, but we have the input. I already have one in my inventory, right? And the controller is what, you know, controls it. I'll show you how to set that up at the end, but the controller is pretty expensive. This is the most expensive part of this. 4 netherite ingots, a nether star. These are pretty cheap in 1 item vault. But do you see how many reactor casings you're gonna need? You're gonna need a ton of reactor casings, and each one of the casings is 1 brass. So hopefully you find a way to automate all that, so you can have maybe multiple of these. 1, 2. I doubt people are gonna have more than like 3 or 4 on the server because this one's getting added. The other 2 or any other mods that you see in this pack aren't necessarily confirmed to go in. Anyway, we continue this side up just like that. We keep putting our cores in, we keep putting our cooling frames in, and then we just build up the sides like this without changing anything. And then from there we just go up 1, 2, and then we put a casing on top, and we continue this pattern all the way to the top. Okay, and then on the last layer, you just want to cover it over with the casings, right? These are called casings, yes. And once I put the last block, it should give me a chat message. Yep, reactor has been assembled. That's how you know you did it correctly. And so this reactor is identical to this one, except for one piece missing on the inside. Well, not really the inside, it's more the outside. So you're gonna wanna get a reactor blueprint. You can craft this with all this stuff. And from there, you grab your reactor blueprint and you take uranium rods and you take granite rods or graphite rods and you make a little pattern. And my UI settings are gonna go down here for a second. Hopefully it doesn't mess with it, just to see that all of this in one place. But you're gonna wanna put these in a pattern that will be correct, I guess, in forming power. Now, the way that I did mine, this pattern is garbage to me right now. Changing my UI setting for GUI. So I have this reactor blueprint. I got this blueprint from the mods Discord because I couldn't figure out anywhere from this. You can copy this. I don't care. This is, I think, the optimal for 2 million. And what you do with this is you click on the little places and then it fills it up, and then you take this blueprint and you click on that and it's like a pattern. It tells it how to work. From there, you should get power after you start feeding the rods and actually both sets of rods in through this input right here. So these go here and these will go here. But since this one doesn't have a pattern, nothing happens. And that is the nuclear reactor. I think the most difficult part is probably getting it built, because once you get the infrastructure set up for this, like the rods, you need enriched yellow cake, which you need to do in bulk enriching, and then you get yellow cake by compressing liquid uranium, which you get by mixing uranium powder, which you get by crushing granite. And granite has its whole line up here through cobblestone, and yeah, it's just a whole... It's late game. It's very late game. And then the graphite rods, not granite, graphite rods are pretty expensive themselves. So you're gonna want iron farm. You're gonna want coal farm, you know, because I guess coal farm is possible. You do charcoal and then you haunt it. The charcoal you get from logs. Yeah. So it's a process. It's pretty big, but I think that it adds, you know, the end game power source, because in normal create, I don't think they're really, I think late game is what, a steam engine and then you're done. But this encourages you to find new ways to automate stuff, combining all your factories and finding new factories, you know, that you didn't have before, like the uranium rods. Like this, I've never seen a crafting recipe like that. And it adds a new type of haunting. I think that's pretty cool. So enough about this. I think I covered everything there. We're gonna go over some smaller stuff, but this is also stuff I want to add to the server. Now, this is 2 mods in one, because one mod is a dependency on the other. Bitter Ballin, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that's the dependence, or the mod, and then the main one is the create deep fried mod, because that adds all these fried stuff. Like, oh, if I search raw, there we go. So you see how some of these say like raw chicken nuggets and raw tempura and corn dogs and spring roll. Like, taking all of this, hopefully we can have more foods than just random noodles on the server this season. But I'll show you how this works. So the 2 things you're gonna want to remember is you need heat and you need the mechanical fryer. Typical inputs, typical outputs, typical pumping fluids into the basin, typical SUs, whatever you want to call this, going into the back, and you just put your raw ingredients in. Let's say we'll do some raw chicken nuggets. Okay, I think this one works, right? Oh, that's the wrong item. Should work, right? Yeah. And then the chicken nuggets go in and they don't get fried. You know why? Because I don't have any heat. So watch this. Once we put the heat down there, the basket goes into the oil, which that is oil, and we get our fried food. The oil, let me find it. Frying oil, what you get by sunflower seeds, what you get from sunflowers, what you get, you know, you'll figure that out once you have a farm or something for it. But the frying oil is what goes in the basin. I think this one will be pretty cool. You know, I always love the food ones. I'm trying to add a lot of food ones without cluttering the amount of items you get on your little search bar here. And speaking of the search bar, I think we're going to be focusing on that for the rest of this video, because we'll be doing some recipe stuff. All right, so these 2 that I have set up here are for infinite diamonds and infinite netherite. I know. That probably sounds crazy, and maybe I tweak them before I add them to the server, but for this recipe, I think it's balanced. I don't even know, because you look here, you need 81 coal per batch, right? And that's 81 charcoal, and you get charcoal by burning logs. That's 81 logs per diamond. Is that reasonable? maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Either way, I still think that these recipes are important to have for this season, this next coming one, for the nuclear reactors. And I would like people to use whatever blocks they want to build. And if you want to build netherite blocks, you know, you can set something up here. So the netherite blocks, or netherite one, uses, where is it? Netherite scrap you can get from crushing netherite bricks. And this is a chance, a 1% chance at a netherite scrap for every 3.2 netherrack, because you know you need a netherrack here, and your bricks can be recycled. You can get a duplicate one, so you can get 2 bricks from one of these and you can recycle it back around for some interesting farms. I think some of the other ones that I remember seeing were ones for tough, cobblestone, and water. I think that's pretty reasonable. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I just mainly wanted to cover this reactor because I think this is going to be the late game setup for most of the people on my little public server that we run. So if that's all you're here for, thank you for watching. I'm going to stick around for a moment and talk about the future of the videos I'll be making and the future of the server. We'll start with the server, but anyway, thank you for those of you who watched for the mod review, and I'll get started talking about the other stuff now. So it's been a while since I uploaded something, and in that time I had a lot of time to think and play a lot of other games and wonder what type of videos I would like to make, because these videos in the end are meant to be fun for me. It's not supposed to be a job where I force myself to, you know, sit down and think of something creative just to continue the growth of the channel. Now, I would love to have the channel grow, but if it doesn't, that isn't really the main focus here, or when I started the channel at least. It's become more of that now, and because of that, I think that I'm going to stop doing the mod review videos. I think I'm going to focus more on, you know, the YouTube telling a story or playing a world or doing a project or something like that, rather than these one-shot mod review videos that do well, but I just don't really enjoy making them because they feel low effort, you know, like I don't really care. So this will be the last one, unless there's a mod that really catches my attention and I just really want to make a video about it. If that makes sense. I think that does. So keep your eyes peeled for more longer, I guess not more longer, but just longer videos in general that have a more relaxed feeling to them, as you know, you're just sitting there playing the game with me. And keep your eyes peeled for more of the live streams, because that's another thing that I've been not really watching, but I've seen a lot of people do live streams, and I used to do them a lot, and I think they're pretty fun. So I'll be trying to get into that probably weekly again, once a week, and then we'll see what we can do from there. And yeah, that's actually talking about the video side, not the server side. So the server stuff will be changed a little bit this season. I took a poll in the Discord and we decided that we would rather have less mods for more server performance. That means that you will have to use your creativity in order to find enjoyment out of the server, which is the point of it for the majority of the server's lifespan, because it lives for a pretty long time and you can pretty much get max gear for what I add in about a day or two, and then from there it's whatever you decide to do with it. All right, I'm not going to tell you how to play, but for this one I think I might add some more grindy stuff so that you actually have something to do, or I'm considering making progression faster so that you can get to what you want to do. I don't know. I was thinking of making optional as well. That would be pretty cool. You know, you log in, you decide, do you want to have the easy track or do you want to have the harder, slower track? You know, we'll see what I can figure out. Shops are gonna stay. I don't think I'm gonna get rid of shops, and I want to introduce a mini game area. You know how the shops had an area where you could buy a chunk and you could build a shop? I want to introduce an area where you can buy a chunk and build a mini game, and you can be funded prizes that are given away only through the admins, or you could be funded with unique items. You know, like you could say, hey, I want to add this mini game and the prize is a trophy. Could you have someone set that up for me? I think I know enough people that know how to do that, and I can say, yeah, sure, we can have a custom trophy item for you, and then be like, thanks, you know. So I want to add that as well. So there'll be 2, I guess, districts or sections. There'll be the shopping and the mini games. I think that's all that I'm ready to share now. Oh, spawn, that's the other thing. Spawn is community build this time, not admin. If you haven't seen the information, it's in announcements, and I'm gonna resend another notification out again later this week. So I urge you all to go check that out, and please enter. If not, spawn is gonna look like this because I am stinky at building. So yeah, I think that's it. If you have enjoyed this this yap session and this random nuclear video, please, you know, like and subscribe. I don't really care, actually. Just if you made it this far, thank you. That's pretty much good enough for me. But I'll see you guys around on the server, on the Discord, and wherever else. And hopefully a lot more videos coming out soon. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.